of a second for us to get on, but always happy to be here at the TCS podcast. I'm Holly Moore. I'm owner and founder of the cleaning software, as well as a residential cleaning service owner myself for the past 17 years. Today's topic is hot. It's always the hottest topic. It's always the reason that us cleaning service owners, and I say that, and I'm pointing at myself included, is that we're not growing is because we don't have enough people to clean the houses in order to grow. So today's topic is hiring, and I have brought on my dear friend and industry expert with Hire Lead Chill, Shawn Day.
Hello.
Oh, my clapping thing. There we go. And then Teresa McConnell is I have been obsessed over her social media posts for a while. From Level Up Cleaning in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and she is booming our residential cleaning service. Shawn Day actually told us how well you're doing and was actually the one that had you on suggested you for the podcast, and we cannot wait to hear all of your tricks that you have been doing to explode your cleaning service. No pressure. So I've already kind of introduced myself. I will let Teresa go next. Just tell me company name, how many years you've been in business, and your favorite part about our residential cleaning industry.
So I'm Teresa McConnell, like right down there. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I was a solo house cleaner for many years, like 13, 14 years. And I got more houses than I could handle. And I finally, during the pandemic, hired someone to help me and could see that they could duplicate what I did. And that kept growing. And I reached out and got some coaching. And the first thing I learned how to do is hire employees, not contractors. And there's lots of cool stuff behind that. My favorite thing about being a residential cleaning service owner is the other owners that I have connected with through Cleaning Business Fundamentals and Shawn and them and Hire Lead Chill, just the community we have that supports each other. I don't feel a lot of competition. I feel a lot of collaboration. That is my favorite thing.
I just went to the huge convention, and I can say, that was like a ton of different industry people, but man, I got flocked right to my residential people, and we stuck together. There's something special about us. We all have the same struggles. We're very specific in our needs and niches, and we just really help each other out. Shawn, you're next.
All right. So I'm Shawn Day with Hire Lead Chill. I actually owned a residential cleaning company for about 20 years in early 2000s. Sold it in 2015-ish and stayed on with the company there for a couple of years. We bought other cleaning services. We had about 100 employees, so we had to learn how to recruit really quickly or drown, and we decided we better figure out recruiting. So we did. It worked great for us. We were at a convention and saw some friends of ours and wondering how we did things. I told them. The next thing you know, we're recruiting for hundreds of different companies around the country, and we sold off all of our home service businesses. So that's me in a nutshell. So now I help others find awesome employees for their companies. Favorite thing I like about the industry is two things. One is exactly what you guys have both outlined. It's just super tight niched. I can identify with all the misery that I've ever had and all the great stuff I've ever had and everything in between. And then it's just super fun. It's super fun people. Almost everybody I meet is just a blast, and I love it.
Amen. Well, I'm glad we're all here today. And the magical question everybody's asking or wanting to know is, how do you keep up with it? I know we have over 100. I'll tell my little kind of version of what I think I'm best at in the hiring process. We have over 150 cleaners. But I think what I'm the best at by doing, the reason why I've been able to get to that point is culture and retention and like family. I treat those employees 5 times better than I would treat a customer. I think we get not to say that I treat my customers poorly either, and our culture is, we're in a very employee-centered culture. Like, it is all about them. And not that we don't care about our customers, but I think some of us are so centered on customers that if we would be more focused on your employees and selling other employees to work for you and make it the cool place to work, or everybody wants to go to work at, or if they leave, they come right back kind of place because you treat them that great. That is what has made me the key to success in our hiring, other than not me not doing it all alone, because obviously I am one person. But I have great managers that also shadow that exact same culture to everyone, all the way down to cleaners that I don't even know their names yet. It has been so shadowed down. So that is my giant expertise in the hiring aspect, is to keeping them. But you guys, I'm looking forward to hearing how you get them, and then also, Teresa, how you keep them as well at a rapid rate that you're growing. So, Shawn, first question for you, but we are going to go around and piggyback off everything. In your experience, well, actually, let me go. What do you think your number one asset in this department is, if it's not obvious?
Well, recruiting, yes, but I think if I still owned a cleaning company, maybe I'll take it from that version.
Yeah.
And what I try to coach our clients is exactly what you've outlined. It's not everything. I'm hyper focused on employees, right? And so I'll go to core values. Culture is certainly one thing, and you can have your own culture. And know companies that love sort of a corporate culture. I've got one that we like to drink, hunt, and fish type of culture, and everything in between, and that's fine. But I think core values is something that we overlook a lot, and we just say, yeah, there's these certain core values. And I've been really pumped up on core values for about the last 8 months to a year, more than I've ever been, and how you can shape and use your core values to actually manage your employees. Everybody's on the same page, and and to your point, Holly, it's not, and one of them can be loyalty, for example, not to me, the owner, not even to our clients, not to my business, to each other. It's always in their lens, right? And I think that's the key that you hit on. I agree wholeheartedly with that. That's huge.
Awesome. Faith Maldonado said, "Your first," and we all know Faith from CBF and TCS. "The first customer is your employee." That's actually a really good point. So, Teresa, what do you consider your hiring expert in this? What do you do to crush through that nobody else has figured out? Give me your secret.
Well, everyone's figured it out, obviously. I'm just piggybacking on what you and Shawn are doing. I've got 12 employees now, and that's just absolutely insane to me when I used to be a solo cleaner. But it's all about core values. I learned that from Shawn like immediately. I watched one of his videos where he was talking about the plow horses versus show horses, and it stuck and it clicked. I wanted to do when I brought my employees on, I wanted them to be able to support themselves, not with like a minimum wage job. And I wanted to love on them, but I didn't have the words for that. So if you look at Shawn's core values and my core values, are so close because I just fell in love with them. But they're super important. The employees are the number one thing. And then Debbie Sardone put the numbers behind it. What an employee brings in versus a client. It's just, yeah. Everything here is employee focused, and it's the only way to grow is to keep bringing in employees.
Yep. They are the number one source of revenue.
The absolute number one source. Yes.
Well, let's dive into some questions. This is going live, and we have several people watching. So y'all fire and ask questions away. Ask the hard ones. Like y'all been easy on me the last couple of podcasts. I want some funnies, some hard ones. Anything, you be creative. So, Shawn, let me ask you, in your experience, we might have kind of already covered this, but think of another one maybe. The biggest roadblock that cleaning businesses face in hiring right now, like to this point, to
So
this
I'll
day.
give you an answer that might not be well versed, and we've heard it 1,000 times. And I just spoke on this at an association thing last week or 2 weeks ago. And the very first thing I talk about is perception and ego. And I think that is the number one or two things that I see that gets in the way. Is I don't like the word mindset as much because I think it's overused a little bit today. So I like the word perception and I like the word ego. And what I mean by that is maybe we've been burned so many times, so many no-shows, so many, because we don't have our core values and our culture and our leadership in place, and we don't really know what that is. And that's a lot of companies out there. It's not something to feel bad about or guilty about. it's sort of the norm, to be honest with you, with all the business owners I talk to each day. And so when you have that sort of perception where here we go again, and I had 2 no shows. Now this lady's coming in. That perception and that sort of, I've been burned all the time, and that is something they can pick up on. And that's something that, like you said this earlier in this podcast, Holly, nobody really started a business because we love to recruit and we love no shows and we love to interview. We talk about revenue.
We love documenting. It's our favorite
Right?
thing.
Yeah, sure we do. Right. So we love to talk about revenue. We love to talk about marketing and how much we sold and those sort of things. We don't really get the big kicks out of recruiting. And so I think if you can change your perception in understanding that the biggest sale of your life is hiring one phenomenal employee that will go produce $75,000 or $80,000 a year for you, if you can just change that little bit of perception, that'll go a long way. That's the number one roadblock I see.
That's a great answer. Like, I love that answer so much. I can't even, I don't have the words to respond to that. That was perfect, because there's so many people that have needed to hear that. Like, if you're having a problem with hiring, and you might be the problem, I hate to say it, but you're selling yourself and your company, right? And if nobody wants to come work for you, or you're not retaining people, then you aren't selling yourself very well to your employees. Now, that's not being walked all over or whatever, but it's just like being the youngest. Like, I've got to suffer from all the old disciplinary issues. It's not fair, like walk in, the fresh person, fresh start, fresh you, fresh company, fresh impression, and the employees are important. So, Teresa?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, you've been experiencing rapid growth. How are you keeping up with a hiring demand without sacrificing quality? And about, how many are you hiring a month right now? Maybe every 2 months, or probably a month. You're probably over hiring, because we have to do that. How many are you hiring? And then how are you keeping up with the demand without sacrificing your quality?
Okay, for starters, Holly, let me tell you a story about overhiring. It took me a minute to understand that and to get that and to get over the fear of that. I think a lot of cleaning businesses at my level or just below my level, that A player will sit down and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't put them on this schedule. I don't even have all my other people's schedules full. So once I got over that fear and felt what it feels like to be overhired, that's when things started changing for me. One of the things we do is we're always recruiting. And I can't say it like Shawn does. I have a bench built. We're bringing in probably 2 a month, and we're fixing to hire another one. So this month it's going to be up to 3. So it looks like we're really overhired, but we're not. It's filling up so fast. I think the best thing we do, not sacrificing quality, is if that A player sits in my seat, whether I think I need them or not. You know what I mean by A player.
Yep.
That person that I know is the perfect fit. I'm going to hire them. I'm going to hire them, and I'm going to throw some more money at marketing.
Amen.
So that's one of the things that we're doing to keep up. And if we recognize somebody who we do hire and we get them out there and they're not a good fit, out as soon as possible. Because I also learned the hard way. I know this wasn't your question, Squirrel.
No, I love it.
I learned the hard way that one person can tear your culture up. I don't care how good of a cleaner they are. And the clients love them and they're bringing in money and they're showing up. But if they're affecting that culture, oh my gosh, get them out quick.
Yes. I don't like to use, let me actually go back to a different analogy. You were like playing blackjack. It's like playing blackjack at the casino. Hey, National Convention's coming up in November, so we got to get our blackjack faces on. It's like you get dealt an ace king, you have a blackjack, and you just look at the dealer and be like, fold. You're an automatic winner, but you just folded it anyway. But then a crazy guy over here is going to stay on a 12 against a 20, and you're just holding on to this 12 thinking maybe you'll win with it. No, you won't. Throw it away. Wait for your next blackjack. So that was just really cool that you just explained it that way. And there is a lot of people that hold on too long. Oh my gosh, I could probably count 10 people I held on to for probably more than that. I want to see the Maids Moore people start firing up in the live. Way more than that, holy. So how many, Teresa, how long do you hold on to those what is your process of the bad blackjack hand, or like when you're like, oh, I got to get rid of it. Like you can't just get rid of them, especially in some states with like hard, labor laws and stuff. Like what is
We're in
your process
Oklahoma.
and how do you get them out of there? You're in Lake Charles, yeah, or where are you at? Lake Charles?
I'm in
Or
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Oh, well, y'all are
Yeah,
kind of like Texas too. We get that. But how do you get them out, and what process do you follow getting them out?
So if it's a serious culture thing, that they're out, I'm not worried about whether I got to pay workers' comp or whatever. They're gone because what is it called, Shawn, that we're in?
Unemployment tax.
What's it? A right to hire,
Right.
right to fire.
Right. Oh, employee at will.
At will
Yeah,
employment.
So I don't have to have a reason to fire someone, but it could come back and bite me in the butt on the
Unemployment.
unemployment thing. We start taking jobs away from them. We bring them in and we say, we fix it now. I don't sit and
I like that.
wait and say, oh, maybe this is going to get better. I'm pulling them in and I'm saying, this is going on and we got to fix this now.
Immediate action as soon as
Immediate, yes.
As soon as you see it, nip it in the bud, call it in. If it's just a talk, it's a talk.
Yes.
But so many people avoid it. It's like they're scared of their own employees or scared of confrontation with their own employees. Well, guess what? Just like kids, they smell things when they smell fear like a dog, and they're going to attack it. And so you have to be strong, consistent, and quick.
And yet we have to also understand that not all people have worked for a company like this where we genuinely care about employees and we show up. You are blowing a good opportunity here. If there's some coaching that can be involved, I'm all about that because I've already paid all this money to recruit this person and they know it. If they can be coached, I will do it. But if they can't be coached and it's out.
Either way, you're talking to them immediately.
Yes.
And that's what's important. Positively or maybe coaching them. Positively coaching them up.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Shawn.
Sure. One thing that I want to underscore that Teresa had mentioned, because I don't want to have people gloss over this, because I think it's one of the key elements on the employee side. And that is, if you're able to build a bench of people that want to work for you, how much easier is it to get rid of somebody that you know you have to get rid of? We've all been in that horrible place where that C employee is ruining things. We're already short-staffed. We don't want to fire that person and be more short-staffed. When you've got a bench of people that you've not only screened but actually interviewed, and they want to work for you and have told you, I want this job, and you tell them, hey, we'll probably get you in, maybe not today, but 2 weeks from now, I think we're going to be able to pull you in. It's like a basketball team with 5 starters on the court, and they look at the bench and there's nobody on the bench to take their first position on the court. How hard are they working for their job? If they see 5 people sitting on the bench, foaming at the mouth, ready to take their job, things change real quick when you have a bench of employees ready to work.
Things also changed when our employees would come in to get supplies and they see that we're recruiting all the time. They see us interviewing.
How often do your employees come into the office?
We're still at 12. They come in when they want to.
Okay. Just if they want to, how often do you see them coming in?
I see them daily. Yeah, daily. I got 2 chairs here. They come in and sit down and talk with me. It's still working for now.
I mean, this is the first time I've ever sat down and spoke with you, even though I've secretively stalked you on Facebook. I just want to come and sit next to you and talk to you. Just have that warm feeling, like where you just, I don't know, you have to have that feeling and that aura that you put out. So I could definitely see that. But I think it's very interesting. I have a lot of people with that follow the CBF model, which is great. I love Debbie. I love CBF. And that solo cleaner model and keeping that camaraderie and that love and that kind of, because if you only see them once every 2 weeks or so and you just said it all, you left it optional and they're in there daily. That is so cool. Like that my girls, if they didn't come in daily, they would be like bored. They wouldn't like, that's their daily coffee hour, their social hour, they're hanging out, like it's fun. So that environment is awesome. Okay, we're going back to Shawn. Are we ready?
Come on, Shawn.
Here's a hard one. So I'm trying to get, my biggest thing with the cleaning software is we've streamed through these podcasts that we have all the time, right? And they're always talking about the same old thing, the same old broad comments, right? So my whole thing is I want to get specific. I want to get like very useful ticks and tacks that you can actually apply rather than, broad things. So I'm reaching deep. In the last 12 to 18 months, what do people need to be more focused on in the hiring market that you've seen change that maybe people haven't adjusted to yet that's happened in the last 12 to 18 months?
So I can tell you the labor market has gotten pretty tight for a number of reasons. So I don't want to waste a lot of time. There's a lot of reasons for that. So I don't want to take much of that time. So what do you do when the labor market gets tight? One of the things I see often is it's that marketing. I'll spend $1,000, $3,000, $5,000 on marketing, no problem, because I want revenue. But if I look at business owners and I'll say, you'll need to spend like probably $500 or $1,000 for they look at me like I got three heads, like I'm crazy, like I'm absolutely crazy. When the labor market goes up, it's simple supply and demand, or when it tightens, I should say, and it's very tight right now. And again, for a number of reasons, I can touch on those, but you can let me know if you want me to. But when that happens, you've got to increase your budget. If that means you need to steal a little bit out of the marketing budget, so be it, and put that into your recruiting budget, which, by the way, if I was to survey cleaning business owners around the country, I would imagine not many would say they have a recruiting budget. And so that's a big difference. The other thing, which is really off topic from that, is that AI, right? I'm begging you, please. I love AI. I use ChatGPT all the time, but don't solely rely on that to write your job ad. You still need to do a little bit of homework and figure out what those keywords are. And very quickly, I'll give you a very quick example from the Texas team right here, right? You guys down in Texas love the word maids, right? Maids this, maids that.
I mean, it's kind of in my name. I feel bad, but yeah, it's not appropriate.
I got Maids on a Mission, Debbie's Buckets and Bows maid service. And that's fine. That's your labor market. That's what people are typing into their phone when they're looking for jobs. That's fine. But they don't do that in New England. I assure you that. That's not, and I know that from researching labor markets around the country. So ChatGPT will give you a good idea of what it thinks should be some good keywords. But I'm telling you now, if you use the word maids in New England because ChatGPT said to do that, you're going to lose about 40% of your application flow. So that's kind of a maybe today type of thing with AI going on. I hope that's deep enough.
Yeah. Like in Texas, y'all say or you guys, and I say y'all.
That's right. That's right.
Teresa's with me in the y'all thing.
Yes, we're on the y'all thing, but we're not on the maid thing here in Tulsa.
Nice.
We're not.
I mean, I wish
it's here, but if somebody's looking for a job, they're typing in cleaning business, I think, cleaning technician. Yeah.
Well, Teresa, you had mentioned it earlier, but I also you said you didn't realize how much you needed to overhire. Actually, hold on. We have a comment. Kevin said documentation is key for coaching, especially when the fun decisions come to unemployment. Yes, Kevin. And as you get bigger, that unemployment rate increasing on you by 0.5% can mean hundreds and thousands, a lot of money. I mean, it can mean $10,000 a year just by going up losing one unemployment claim. So we definitely have our process down to a science where it's like you document the verbal warning, y'all. Yes. Document the verbal warning, because you can't just write verbal warning; it doesn't work. And then you've document at least another time, and then third time you have to write final occurrence. I'm sure it's different in different states, but I haven't lost an unemployment over 12 years. Not because I'm mean. It's because I'm documented. I coach them, and the TWC, or the Texas Workforce Commission, can see that I've done everything possible for this person. And so this person also gets it documented to them, and they feel like they've gotten everything done for them too. They're like, oh, wow, it's on paper. Can't say anything about that. I had to sign it, and it's just, I talk about documentation all the time. So I'll just move on. Back to Teresa. Thanks, Kevin, for getting me off topic. I knew he's always good for that one.
Holly, we document too while I'm over here hollering, get them
Yeah.
out, get them out. And the documentation must match our handbook. There's got to be a policy that was violated. We learned that the hard way. Yes. You can't just say it's quality. You got to have,
You got to say, you got to write down the checklist that they violated.
we gave 'em a
Miss top
checklist.
of fridge, stapled
Document,
with the checklist. Clicking, like in the cleaning software, they actually click that they did it. So you can print that sucker off and be like, you clicked that you completed the top of the fridge. Here's your write-up, quality, staple, or scan, or whatever it is now. Sometimes I give up on technology. Sometimes it's just easier to paper it with HR. Oh my, go. So you mentioned overhiring. This is a question that I get a bunch, and this is a question I get a bunch. Is how much do I overhire? And I know at maybe a certain level, maybe it's different, but what percentage do you overhire? Like, okay, so say I want to grow, because you should always have your growth, right? Like I want to grow 10,000 in a month, or whatever your goal is. How many do you, 1, have to recruit, 2 have to interview, 3 have to hire, and then 4 end up with a cleaner? Because there's 4 stages to that.
Okay, I don't know all that. We're doing trial and error here. I can tell you right now, we're probably overhired maybe by 1. But we just had, this is a squirrel thing here. I'll come back to that.
You're good.
I promise it's over there. We just had a tech turn in her 2-week notice, A player, because she's moving to Phoenix. And so we pulled from our bench and pulled one in.
I know a good cleaning service in Phoenix, by the way. If she needs a job. I know a great cleaning service in Phoenix.
I sent her over to Stephanie Hathaway.
Okay, perfect.
She's going to go work with Stephanie Hathaway. But overhired, I mean, we're overhired maybe 1. We're going to bring another one in. We would like to be at 15 cleaners by the end of the year. Maybe we need more. I don't know.
So that's
I don't know.
A net of 3? A net of 3 by the end of the year.
Yes. Okay. I don't know the numbers behind it, Holly. I just know by making mistakes that is how I learn. I learn by hitting my head against that wall. Bring it in. Don't worry about do you have the jobs. Keep hiring. The jobs will come.
And if you get overhired, it's always a good time to get rid of maybe the B teams. We never keep the C teams, but the B teams may have to toughen up or rise above.
Or throw more money into marketing, because we're always honest when we're doing our group interviews. And
yeah. Group interviews.
Oh, yes.
That was a fun word.
We're honest right there in our group interviews, and we're talking about our core values. This is what a good day looks like. This is what a challenging day looks like. And this is what your schedule is going to look like until we get you built. We've got to build you physically. We've got to get you clients in. It could be a minute before we get you that full-time schedule, but be patient with us and we got you. So
I just want to go to work for you right now.
Huh?
I want to go to work for you right now.
We're honest that it's going to take a minute. So to be overhired, we can get them 1 job a day. They know that that's coming.
So what do you think about group interviews versus individuals? Does it work better for you?
I love group interviews. We're interviewing from the minute they walk in the door. And when they sit down, we're talking to them. The people that are going to align with our core values, which are the most important, they have a tendency to lean in when we start talking about ownership and accountability, and that we serve cancer patients. And the ones that aren't buying in, they're kind of set back, they're flipping through papers, they're not making eye contact. We let them talk, see how they interact in front of people. It's a fantastic thing. What we do after the group interviews, I think they last maybe about 10, 15. No, I don't know if they're that long. We take them in and do a one-on-one if they're still interested after the group interview. And we sit down and one-on-one with them. And we know who we want from that group interview.
That's awesome. I love the group interview. So let me
Yeah.
ask you this. Do you have that group interview like twice a week, or you just kind of like,
We're doing it on Mondays and Wednesdays right now, and we're probably going to have to pick up and start doing it on Friday to keep up with the
That's
growth.
awesome.
Really,
let's go. I call that more dots in TCS land. TCS users, I know y'all are out there going screaming, get more dots. More dots in the TCS is more houses. And as
well,
long
I
as
learned a group interview from Shawn and Dan Plata. You should watch
where is
them what
Dan?
Dan
He said
Plata. Dan
he
Plata
said
does in a group interview. It's like, oh, I want to go work for Dan.
Dan and Shawn are some of my favorite people when we
Oh,
were
they are
ever.
my favorite. They're my favorite.
Yep. When we're vendors together, I'm like, yes, this
Yeah,
is
I love hanging
awesome.
out with them.
Yeah.
And Nikki's my favorite.
Nikki's awesome.
Yeah.
And Libby.
Yes, yes. I learned so much from Libby. I did, yes.
I
And
know.
again, that's the collaboration. You don't see Shawn and Libby banging heads. They're both offering a great service.
Exactly. Exactly. Shawn and Libby have taught me so much about in the industry and who I want to model after as a vendor or as as a provider, and definitely not competitors. We work together to provide the best thing for everybody, because Shawn's method may work for some people and Libby's method may work for other people's.
Yes.
But I saw Shawn, like, he was sitting there and got excited on group interviews,
Oh, man.
and then he started, and then he was like, I didn't know if it was like a father gleam or what it was, but he was just all on. He was like, I'm so proud. It was like watching Teresa blossom. So I thought it was just really cool. I'm assuming Teresa is your client and she uses Hire Lead Chill. So tell me, like, with Hire Lead Chill, what do you get when? Tell me about the whole recruiting thing, because and some of you guys may be old school like me, and I know you're probably thinking, how in the heck did you ever do that? I have never used a recruiting service, not yet.
Yep.
I've thought about it a couple of times. But we've always been from I got to a certain level at a certain really good time in the economy, and I was really lucky to get that 40 or 50 base. And then I traditionally grew it like friends and families and paying the girls the $500 referral fee to referral their friends and families. So I kind of like came at a different time, like way long ago, and had my base really built up and just in a really good metropolitan area where there's a lot to choose from. But I understand not everybody's like me. I am saying, when I say 150 employees, I am lucky as a duck. Like, I know how hard that is. And are we just the right areas, the right time, the right luck, the right heart, God, everything worked out.
Yep.
So tell me about the recruiting process besides from an organic, and do you encourage organic or not encourage organic? And then what would you bring to an organic process if somebody isn't already using a recruiting, or what makes you different?
So what makes us different is, I'll give you our elevator pitch.
Okay.
We want to be your full-time recruiting department. That's how I view our job. Our vision statement, I should know it by heart, but it's something like, we want to match outstanding employees with outstanding companies and help our clients solve their employee problems. So it's more than just, here's a good hire, go hire them, go interview them, and good luck. We want to be your full-time recruiting department. So we're going to research your labor market for those keywords and some things like that. And then we're going to come back with a budget. What should you be boosting? What are your hiring? What are you trying to execute on? What are your hiring goals? And that's going to be different from your labor market to labor market. Some are super competitive, some aren't. So that budget changes depending on your company, your hiring needs, your labor market competitiveness, and so on. So that's sort of where we start. We start like, I want to understand your business as though I own a business in your labor market. And then we can go from there. We'll create your job ad. We research the keywords, all that type of thing. You'll never have to go in Indeed again. So that's another part of it. We're your full-time recruiting department. That's really makes us different than a lot of other recruiting agencies out there. And we're not a staffing company. We're not a temp agency. We're literally just adding you on to what we already know works. And so it's more like a marketing agency for recruiting, is really an easy way to kind of look at it. You pay us a little bit of money each month. We're going to handle everything for you. But I take it a step further, and we were the first ones to come up with that business model pre-COVID. It was back in 2000, 2015, 2016. Now there's others that are copying it, but we still hold hard and true that we are not a software company where others will say we're a software company. I don't have any interest in being a software company. I want to be a people company. Yeah,
Make it do that.
sure.
Just make it do that.
Developers are great, right?
Actually, mine are really great, but yeah.
You're lucky. You're lucky. But that's us in a nutshell. And we're going to help, and we're going to train you how to and coach you how to interview. And I love the group interview. That's like a revolutionary way to interview. And I can, anybody that wants to talk to me about that, I won't charge you a cent. I'll give you my time and we'll group interview like you wouldn't believe. It's by far the best way to interview in my view.
I mean, I don't know. I would say I fall into peer pressure, but I'm competitive is what I meant, not peer pressure. So if I'm in a group of people and we're all competing for the same job, I am like, we're on this, like from the very beginning. And then creating that competitive environment going on, Teresa, like not competitive, but like competitive to do the best quality, not against each other, but you're always striving to do better. And so that's immediately just setting the tone in that group interview. That's the cool. I was like, oh my gosh, she just said group interview. I'm like texting Caitlin right now. Is she watching group interviews? So what is your non-negotiable that like, if you hear it during an interview or during a phone call or maybe in the first week of work that you're like, you're gone, because I wish I would have found mine about 10 years earlier than I did. So I'll let you go first.
Mine is that it's so awesome that you've come so far and started this cleaning business. I would love to do the same thing.
Perfect. That is perfect. Mine would be in the group interview atmosphere. And that is if they, and I mean this with all my heart, if they are not absolutely thrilled to death when I start talking about core values and culture and they don't absolutely identify with it and absolutely fall in love with it, and we tell them, if you don't love this, do not take the job. If we offer it to you, don't take it, because I promise you it's not going to work. They have got to fall in love with our core values and our culture at the interview. And when you, and Teresa's exactly right. It's like Moses in the Red Sea. You see this part of people looking at their phone think about it like this. If you want to hire somebody that's a great interviewer and can BS their way through a one-on-one interview with their strengths and their weaknesses, and the last time I was upset at work and all that BS, do that. That's fine. It's really, really hard in a group interview to hide your body language, especially when you don't think you're being screened and vetted and looked at. It's really hard to do that. We've got clients that get to a point where they'll have 15 people in the room, 20 people in the room on a group interview, and they'll sort of plant one of their employees or managers in there to look around and see who's getting excited when the words core values and you start to outline your core values. They look at that body language. You can't hide that.
That is so true. I'm digging that. So I have a funny comment, but before I like completely get sidetracked. So my favorite interview question, and if I get above 1 as the answer, it's like a no-go. How many days do you feel it is acceptable to call in per month?
It's one of our
screening
questions.
If they say 1, or like my favorite answer is 0. And then if they say 1, I'm like, and then any more than 2, I'm like, nope, you're done. We're out. Comment. So Kevin says, oh, the really crazy thing I did. And Kevin, by the way, comes from a major corporate background, great manager, but says the really crazy thing I did one day, expanding on the group interview concept, is we made it a happy hour interview. I don't know if I'd be brave enough to do that. It was a little daring because the subset of those folks who'd applied were invited. It was a pretty awesome experience. Maybe more of a manager candidates for cleaners or maybe more managers than for cleaners. But I'm like, I bet that was interesting.
That would be interesting. And I can assure you this, if Platt is going to be listening to this, he'll probably be having a few of those interviews set up by next week, I would guess.
You know what he's now like? He's going to go like, you know what? I'm going to interview my clients with a happy hour. Everything is going to be a happy hour.
I saw a thing and I'm trying to think of the do's not. Jim Rohn, he said to like office people, take them to coffee. I think it was Jim Rohn. Take them
Mhm.
to coffee, see if they know what they want to order, see how they treat the barista, stuff like that. You can
Yeah.
find out a lot about a person right there. I'm not going to happy hour though.
So I just thought about Kevin's right before I thought about that. My favorite interview question that I ask is because I've always wanted to create careers because as long as everybody in my employees want to grow, we're going to grow. Like
Right.
if we've tapped out on the main service, we'll start a cleaning software. I don't care. We're going to expand and we're going to grow. We're going to, as long as they're willing to grow and they're doing the work to get there, we'll create opportunities for them. With a cleaner, my favorite thing is when I said, if you had the opportunity to become management and like maybe you had to clean for a couple of years, is that something you would be interested in? And when I hear them say yes, I'm like, ding, like green light, because that's how you crawl yourself out of your business. Maybe not at 5 or 10, but definitely when you're starting to get around 20 and 25 and 30, that's really where you start to find your managers because it is so hard to just retrain everything we did. Because, like Teresa was saying, how do you learn? You go bang your head on the wall and you make mistakes. So it's like,
we've got a set of questions that we ask that I kind of call, do you understand business set of questions? And it's really to your point. We put together years ago, and I got together with buddies of ours that were own businesses, and we were trying to develop this business model. And when we all answer as business owners one way, I said, why can't we have candidates that would answer the same way as a business owner would? And what we found was that they were far, far better employees in general than those that did not answer sort of the same way that business owners answer. And that's really, you know, coupled with what you're talking about, both of you, is that, and we don't expect them to put formulas and spreadsheets and stuff like that, but we found 4 traits kind of come to the surface. Business owners don't have to babysit them as much. They tend to be more loyal. They tend to have better judgment and they're better problem solvers. And if that's not a great employee that's going to help you scale and grow a business, I don't know what is.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So, one last question. I've had a cleaning service struggle with this, and I feel like in my subconscious, she might have prompted me to ask this question. So, I hope she's listening. Um, do you think sometimes in your market that you feel like you're paying like some of the solo models, you're paying like $20 to $25 an hour, and you do local research and you are still seeing people work at $15 to $16 an hour and you're still trying to figure out why you're losing people? I see that a lot in the cleaning industry. And other than my explanation, because I'm tired of hearing myself talk, what is the explanation for that? Because that's a big question in the residential cleaning industry. I don't understand. We pay 20, 25 an hour, but over there it pays 14 and they'll go back over there all day long.
Because of the culture. Because not everybody is money motivated. You're trading your time for money. And if the culture sucks, then I'm going to go get 15 over 25 all day long.
Guess what, Teresa? My dad lives in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm coming to see you.
Okay, come see me.
I'm like, we're going to hang out.
You wonder why I had her on. She's everything. She really is. She's the best.
She's so smart. I love watching. If y'all haven't, I know I already mentioned it, but Level Up Cleaning. I always watch clean. Social media is unfortunately the new day and age marketing, and I watch a bunch of different cleaning services. One, to get ideas for my own. Sorry, the teacher and me, we either lie, cheat, or steal. And so then I just watch it because I just enjoy it. It's my humor, and you have some really good ones. So I commend you for your marketing efforts. So I'll have to have you back on when we do some social media because yours is creative. Your personality truly comes out. I'll just do this just in case.
Yeah, I mean, I think 2 reasons. One is it's culture for sure. It's look in the mirror. Why are they not there? Because it's not money motivated at all. It has something to do with your culture or something. The other thing it can have, and when I say it has to do with their culture, maybe they're not a good fit for your culture, which is okay, and it's fine that they go away. And there's just some people in our industry that are job hoppers that aren't loyal, and they hop jobs and they're not loyal. I mean, that's on. That's okay. Let them go. And you got to be real cautious on bringing that type of person back. I know a lot of times people will leave and then come back and want to come back to work for you. But I wouldn't just say, yeah, I'd put them through the whole thing again. I'd do it like they're brand new, a candidate. If it's somebody that you want to bring back, I wouldn't just say, come on back. I don't think that's fair to the rest of your team that they think they can leave and then come back just because. That's not fair at all. And I think loyalty has a big thing to do with somebody staying around. And I think screening has a lot to do with that. I don't know why on earth a normal human being would leave a $22 an hour job with a good company to go make $15 an hour.
Good response on the questioning. That was awesome. So maybe add some loyalty and screening questions more to your interviews. Like, hey, I've seen you have 5 jobs in this last time, or this last year. Agreed. A lot of us cleaning service owners will make the mistake of being desperate, having somebody walk in the door. They didn't bring a resume. Can you start tomorrow? And then the bad apples kind of begin if you don't take the time to do that in the beginning. Like Teresa is saying, she's constantly recruiting so she can stay ahead of that bubble so she never gets in that pickle. That's our big thing, not getting in the pickle. I think the very last thing I'll say is that to the hard number question I asked you, I'm a number person. Ask Dan. I never make a decision without a number, like an actual percentage or number. Just like Debbie says, you have to know your numbers. So I've found that my number when I got to over 35 employees was over hiring by 15 to 20%, somewhere in that framework. So if I knew the revenue that I had needed a certain amount of people, I would hire 15% over that to 20% over that. So I don't know if that helps you at all. I'm a numbers person, so if you're trying to gauge whether you're hiring too much or not, using that 15 or 20% is a pretty good, ballpark. So in Teresa's example, it makes perfect sense for her because she says she's one overhired. She's about to hire another, so that's 10. That's 1 to 2 people. So 10 to 20% or 15 to 20% is right where you need to stay, and if you're under that, then you're going to be in a pickle. So
I agree with that. That number.
Well, guys, I thank you so much. Again, the cleaning software is here to educate and empower the cleaning industry. We're residential cleaning service owners ourselves. We have a demo special going on right now. If you demo before September 5th, you get a chance to be in a drawing for a $200 Amazon card. So if you guys know anybody or you're watching this podcast, feel free to demo with us. I just extended it to September 5th because I had COVID for a week. Did y'all know COVID was still a thing?
No.
Oh my gosh, it hit me. It hit me last Monday like a freight train, and I was like, I do not have time for this.
I have not gotten it yet.
Well, bye COVID and bye residential cleaning service owners. When you guys stay on, it's got to finish downloading. I appreciate your time. We'll see you guys later.